Welcome to the Run Your Mouth podcast with your girl Key, where we talk about anything and everything has substance, from celebrity gossip, news you can use, and the power of the almighty dollar. You can hear it here first in the Audio Trap House in less than an hour.
Come run your mouth. Anything you wanna talk about, tune in so I can get the tea. Tuning in with Kid's family. Come run your mouth. Save us on the line. Today we got the time. Run your mouth.
Thank y'all for tuning in so early in the morning with your girl Key. And if you do not wake up at 7 a.m., it's okay. Download, follow, click that notification button, and do the playback. You'll be able to hear it until you can't hear it. It's going to be here on whatever platform you download your favorite podcast until it ain't here. And hopefully, I'm going to be around. So if you're not up early in the morning with your girl, that's fine. You'll be able to tune in and go back and do the playback and catch this episode of Run Your Mouth podcast. So let's just get into it. Idolatry. And this is in no form or fashion a jab at our people. But let me tell y'all something. Idolatry doesn't just steal your worship. It steals your growth. Whatever you place above God will eventually stand between you and who He created you to become. We have to understand that. When we understand that concept, it'll take us a very long way. And for those who don't believe in the Most High, well, keep idolizing your statues and whatever it is you got down here and keep thinking you're going to live forever. But at the end of the day, I want to share something with the people who do believe in the Most High, who do believe we have another purpose, who do believe that God ordained us to do something else besides what we're doing and the way we're doing it. We have a purpose. Who are we really worshiping? Idolatry is quietly hindering growth in the Black community. And let me be very clear. This isn't about condemning the Black community as a Black woman. I'm definitely not condemning my community. This is about loving us enough to ask hard questions. You know, the questions that nobody really want to talk about, the stuff that we should be discussing at our dinner table with our friends when we're at brunch, when we're at lunch, when we're out having a good time, and then we wind down and we think about the hard stuff. This is the questions we should be asking one another. And it's very simple. Have we replaced God with idols? And if we have, what has it cost us? We have. Many of us have. We're all guilty of it. We all are guilty of it. Whether you want to admit it or not, we are. But do we want to face the fact that it has definitely cost us something? So let me just get into this. What is an idol? When most people hear the word idol, they think of golden statues in the Bible. But Scripture teaches us that an idol is anything that takes God's place in your heart. It's not Mary Magdalene. It's not the Buddha, the pot-belly statue. It's not a flower lined with sage. It doesn't have to be that stuff. It's anything that takes God's place in your heart, whether it's visual or not. Sometimes idols don't sit on altars. They don't sit on our tables. They don't sit at our desks. They don't align our homes. They sit in our pockets. They trend on social media. They play through our headphones. Yeah. Y'all idolize those rappers and these artists that we have right now, right? They sit in our boardrooms. Your boss man, your boss woman. It's not your boss. That's your supervisor or your manager to manage that entity, not to manage you, not to control you, not to boss you, not to tell you what to do in your life, not to even get engaged and involved in your personal life. But we tend to allow our positions and the people that we answer to, or if we're in that position of authority ourselves, to put ourselves in a realm that we feel like we superior to every freaking body and we should be idolized. They live in our mirrors. When you walk past and you see yourself, you got people out here modifying their bodies. You got men spending hours and hours and hours in the gym. For what? Your heart is not right. Your intentions are not right, but you're focusing on getting your body right. We have idols in our money, status, celebrity, relationships, politics, images, and fame. None of those things are evil by themselves. It's okay to be successful. It's okay to want to have money because money is a part of life. Your status is a part of your growth. Being a celebrity, that's a choice. If you want to work that hard and you want to do all that and you want to be seen in the lights and all that stuff, your relationships is a part of human nature. Politics, we going to have them. No matter what, from the beginning to the end, you're going to have governing bodies. How you see yourself, your image of what you see, that's going to always be a part of you and a part of everybody's life. Fame, everybody don't have to pursue it. But if you do choose to pursue it, hey, that's your choice. But none of these things are evil by themselves. But they become dangerous when they become our source of identity, our hope or our purpose. When you wake up in the morning, before you even brush your teeth, before you even stretch, before you pray, before you just thank God that you open your eyes, the first thing you do is you jump it on social media. Not to share something that's purposeful, not to share something that's engaging in an elevating way that's positive, but you scrolling and you looking at all the gossip and you looking at all the latest news, the latest skits, the latest celebrity stuff. You worrying about all the wrong stuff. You're not using your platform for good. It's selfish. It's just self-centered. That's when things become a problem. These are the conversations that we avoid. Let's be honest. As a culture, we celebrate entertainers like they're prophets. And America is one of the biggest entertaining countries. We were built on entertainment and sports. That's one of our mantras. That's the thing that America prides itself on: sports and entertainment. But as a culture, as a black culture, because I'm talking to black people today, anybody else that's listening of any other race, any other culture, you're welcome. But right now, this is for us because we're losing this battle. We're fighting this war for hundreds and hundreds of years, and we're losing this battle of what is significant and what is elevating us and what benefits us. And we have succumbed to a culture that we think entertainers are prophets. We don't have to engage in believing that Cardi B's life is the life we have to follow. We don't have to believe that Nicki Minaj's life was the life we have to follow. Men don't have to worship Diddy, and then when the high and the giants fall, then we wonder why we have been in disarray. Because you allowed yourself to make an entertainer your prophet. We defend celebrities harder than we do biblical truth. We will go in 50,000 comments and read them all day long and have something to say about the people that we idolize, the entertainers, the politicians, the celebrities, the famous people that we idolize. We will literally go in knowing them people don't have their life together. We know those people are not living godly lives. We know those people are not good people. They're just not good people. Some of them are just not good people. They are entertainers, but we would defend them to the death of us. We know every lyric to songs glorifying violence, greed, revenge, and sexual exploitation. I heard a song on the radio Y'all, that's crazy. That I remember back in the day, the radio would bleep out stuff. You had to have explicit version, and that's what they played on the radio. We had the After Dark MTV. Or BET or one of them After Dark, and that's when you seen all the grimy stuff that didn't bleep it out, but kids should have been asleep. I first saw all that when I worked in the prison, and that's what those inmates got off on, because they was able to watch that, and that was like they Pornhub, I guess. And that's when I was like, oh my goodness, this is VH1 After Dark, MTV After Dark, one of them, something After Dark. But I was like, oh my goodness, they really playing this, but then it was After Dark. But now we live in a culture and a society where some things that we didn't used to hear on the radio, that we didn't allow into our kids' ears and into our hearts and our minds, to distort us, and the explicit things that we hear and consume didn't guide us because it wasn't played. But I heard a song on the radio and it said something about eat his D, like, or you don't need to go eat, you don't need to go grocery shop or something because you can eat this D like me. I was like, what the fuck? Like, y'all, I just got a curse right now because I was like, this is on the radio? And I done did some stuff in my life. I done been some places, been around some people, done some things, and I just ain't never experienced this level of free speech in such a vulgar way. Some stuff you need to just not say on the radio, in public, on social media. It's out of control. But that's what we glorify, right? We can quote all of the lyrics of all the violence and all the sexual exploitation, all the revenge, all the diss tracks and this and that and the third, but can't quote a single verse that speaks life into our homes. Do we sit down with our kids and still pray? Do we sit down with our kids and teach them manners? No, everybody trying to make their kids a global celebrity. They letting them shake their booties with grown men. They letting their sons curse and throw up signs and this and that and the third, because it's viral, right? It's viral. So that means it has to be good. No, it's a virus, and viruses ain't good. If y'all have been paying attention last couple of weeks, the parasite has been running rampant from the vegetables. Literally everything they said we eat that's good for us, pull it off the shelf, it's bad. It's infected, this and third. But let me tell you, I had the parasite. I literally lost 10 pounds in 4 days. I could not breathe without going to the bathroom because I had the virus. Viral is the root word of virus. It's not a good thing. Just because you go viral doesn't necessarily mean that what you are spreading is good. We spend hundreds on designer labels because we see this stuff and it's gone viral. It's trending. While saying we can't afford therapy. We can't afford financial literacy or investing in our children. We can't afford to go buy a piece of land. We can't afford to go buy a house and fix it up. We can't afford to pay off that car. Our credit is going down the drain, down the drain, down the drain because you just can't pay for the Benz that you riding around in, knowing good and well you can't afford it, but you got it because you seen somebody else with it and you want to look like money, but you ain't really got no money. We can't afford the Camaro. We can't afford the drop top, but we gonna do it anyway. We gonna do it anyway. We can afford all that nonsense. We can afford $350 Jordans. Every time they drop, the same shoe dropping over and over and over again. And I'm not taking away from this black man who has built his industry, who has built his financial wealth, but he built it off the back of manipulating his people. He built it off the back of selling out to bigger industries that wasn't ran by black men and women. But you sell these people this raggedy ass shoe, this cheap material that you got from Vietnam somewhere, and price it up. But then you go in that country and they all wearing Gucci and they wearing Jordans and they wearing everything name brand for the low, that American black people are paying the high end for. And you calling yourself for the people? Sometimes we admire the image of success more than we pursue wisdom. Use your mind. Use your mind and think about the fact that they already made it, however they made it. And if Diddy was not, and many like Diddy, R. Kelly, some of these other ones, I'm talking in the black community. We're not going to talk about Epstein because he ain't in my community. We're going to talk about these black men and women who have rise to fame, however they did it. Initially, even Oprah. Oprah started out ratchet and having shows with families fighting and everybody going off and that big hair and all this stuff. But then she conformed to what was sensible. She realized this was not a benefit for her community. We don't need to do this. We don't need to portray ourselves like this. I've already made it. Now I'm going to scale back and I'm going to try to give you knowledge. And y'all, literally, so many black people stopped following her and stopped listening to some of the things that she was saying and putting out because it didn't look like what it used to. But it actually would have probably benefited you if you had taken away the persona you thought versus who she became. Because we don't all have to stay in the same place. A lot of us go through the struggle and we go through the trenches and we have one way of seeing life as black Americans because we are the chosen people who have been deprived and the disparities are real. The imprisonment is real. The injustice is real. But when you make it, do you still have to act that way? Do you still not seek the wisdom that will bring you success over admiration and idolatry? And this message ain't for everyone. So if it's not for you, go ahead and click off and go about your business. Turn on your radio, get your playlist going, listen to whatever it is that's going to corrupt your mind because it may not be for you. But for the people that it's for, let me tell you something. It's not common enough that we need to ask ourselves why. But it is common. Ask yourself, why am I like this? Why do I conform to this type of behavior? Why do I continue to put myself in this box, in this stereotypical box that the oppressors put us in? Why do I feel like I have to go viral and sell myself short just because it's trending? Why do I have to do what everybody else is doing in order to feel like I'm successful? Why do I not know my purpose? And why this matters? Because when God warned Israel about idolatry, it wasn't because he wanted control. It was because idols always demand more than they give. More. You hear celebrities and famous people saying, oh, they tired. They ask for this, but they don't want the work that comes with it. They don't want the paparazzi. They don't want the unnormal lifestyles that comes with it. But you asked for this. This is what you wanted, right? You didn't want all the pressures when you sold yourself to the industry that was going to sell you a lie to sell to your people. But you asked for this, right? But you couldn't handle it. It was more, way more of a demand than what you was capable of sustaining. Money becomes never enough. Success becomes exhausting. Relationships become unhealthy. We all have that toxic relationship we done been in, especially when you've been in it for a long time. Or when you get, you see rappers, they beef, they killing each other, they doing this and the third, because their relationships have become unhealthy. They've exhausted themselves with becoming famous and being successful. They've stopped looking at their sister, their brother, as the sister or their brother and the person who I need. And it now becomes a triple threat. That validation becomes addictive. And eventually our peace disappears. It's proven. I mean, I'm not a therapist. I'm not. I'm not Dr. Brian. I'm not going to call myself a whole bunch of things that I'm not, because I got 20 letters in my name total. I don't need to add extra acronyms if I'm not going to add extra elevation. I'm going to have 20 letters in my name no matter what, unless I decide to change it. I don't need to add nothing extra. Doctor, MP, nurse, RN, LPN, BSN, MA. I don't need to add all that if it's not adding to my elevation. If my purpose still remains the same and it's in the garbage and it's not elevating me and helping my people and helping my community, I can add 50,000 acronyms to this long behind name and it won't benefit me none. It won't benefit nobody nothing. So all that will be irrelevant if my peace disappears. We so often allow our identity to get wrapped up in things that can disappear overnight. Literally, Diddy lost everything overnight. Not that he didn't create this path overnight, because he'd been getting away with stuff for decades. Epstein lost his stuff overnight. You see a lot of people just wake up in an instant because they've been building this net of Charlotte's Web for a long time. But then just in an instant, just like that, in the twinkle of an eye, God said, I'm moving out the way. I'm moving out the way, and now that you no longer have my covering, now that you no longer have my protection, now that you no longer have me guarding you, leading you, and you have decided that you're going to walk away, you're going to do it your way, I'm moving out the way. And in an instant, it's gone. Not because God wants to keep us from enjoying life, but because idols keep us from becoming who we were created to be. God does not take away. God gives. Forgives. He does not take away. He get out the way. We take away. We take away. So look in the mirror. This isn't about pointing fingers or condemning the black community again. I'm not saying that every one of us, we are a great people. We are a dope set of people. We are a chosen people. Jesus could have walked in the skin of anything on this earth. He could have flapped as a seal. He could have flew as a bird. He could have slithered as a snail. He could have creeped as a turtle. But he decided to walk on this earth and be in the form of a black man for a reason. And we need to dig deep, and we need to learn that reason. And it's about looking in the mirror. Ask yourself, what disappoints me more than disappointing God? What consumes my thoughts every day? What would I struggle to surrender? What defines my worth? The answer to those questions often reveal what sits in the throne of your hearts. What are you willing to sacrifice? You idolizing everything. You're dimming your community. You're dumbing down who you are. You're selling yourself short. You're killing your sisters and your brothers. You're not taking care of your children. You're defiant in every way because you're scared to ask yourself those questions. I'm not saying that stop enjoying music. I'm not saying stop building wealth. Of course not. Music is universal. That's our culture. Music, dance, colors, family gathering, celebration. That's the culture of the black community. Wealth is our nature. Mansa Musa was still and still is, and nobody has surpassed him yet. The richest person ever known to mankind, a black man out of Africa. So I'm not saying don't stop building. Please, we need it. It's how you build, how you enjoy. I'm not saying don't support successful black people. Please do. We have to support one another. That's one of the problems that we have in our community. We don't grab each other by the bootstrap. We gatekeep. And then we say they. And then we blame everything on race. Oh, they didn't help us. They didn't do that. No. You didn't help you. You didn't help your neighbor. You didn't support your fellow sister brother's product. You didn't buy. You didn't share. You didn't talk about it. You didn't tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody, because word of mouth gonna always be the best marketer that we can ever have. Social media is just written words. It's still word of mouth. When we share and we talk and we tell somebody and tag somebody and this, that, and the third, that is sharing your brother or your sister's platforms and engaging and supporting them so that they can be successful. So please keep doing that. What I'm saying is, don't worship what God merely intended you to steward. Be a good steward. You know, we got so many people running around now talking about, oh, they ADHD. I've seen some of the laziest, nastiest people talking about they got attention deficit hyper disorder. Attention deficit hyper disorder. Let's go back again. Attention deficit hyper disorder. Hyper is the key word there. You ain't hyper about nothing. You don't want to work. You don't want to clean. You don't want to take care of your kids. You don't want to talk. You don't want to do nothing, but you talking about you hyper. What are you hyper in? Doing drugs? Laying down? Getting on the internet? What are you hyper about? No. We have gotten so engulfed in titles and narratives that are so unreal. It's crazy, and it's holding us back. God never asks us to choose between excellence and faith. So don't worship what you were merely intended to steward. You were intended to steward money. You were intended to be a good steward of your family and your homes and the things that God has blessed you with, because everything that you have is replaceable. Be a good steward of your life, of your time. Don't waste all your time doing nonsense, telling lies and pretending and faking it till you make it. You may not make it. Don't fake it. Use your time wisely and make it real. Make it count. Make every minute and every day count. He asks us to put him first. That's it. When God is first, our families become healthier. Our decisions become wiser. Our business becomes more ethical. That key word, ethical, might take you somewhere. You'll get that on your way home. Our communities become stronger and our growth becomes sustainable. Hallelujah. When your growth becomes sustainable, aka legacy, we can start 100 online businesses and they won't last 30 days. We can go out and we can get brick and mortar and you won't be able to pay the rent and the lease in the next quarter. But when you build your business, build your life on God and the principles and the ethics that God instilled in you and purpose for you, you will sustain. It may not happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight except for the lottery that I'm seriously waiting on, and I am going to get one day. Y'all won't know it because I'm going to still act like I'm broke. Let people think whatever they want to think. It doesn't matter. God knows what he has for you. God knows what he intends for you. And sometimes you have to live below your means for people. Let the world think whatever they want to think. And you do God's will. And you will sustain. Lastly, y'all, maybe the reason for some of us feeling stuck, and y'all know that's my favorite word, unstuck. You know, that's my girl group. I love unstuck because I hate feeling stuck. I hate feeling like I'm in a place where I've always had a phobia of quicksand, kangaroos, and cockroaches. I don't want no cockroaches flying around me. I don't want to be nowhere with them kangaroos kicking. I don't even want to see them things. And I have had a phobia since Bigfoot. I'm telling my age. If y'all remember Bigfoot and that quicksand. I was like, what will I do if I'm in quicksand? I ain't never seen no quicksand. I have never been anywhere in the world out of 8 countries in multiple travels where I have seen quicksand, okay? But I have always had this phobia since a little kid watching Bigfoot. I don't want to be fooled up with no quicksand. I don't want to be stuck. I hate being stuck because it's not God's will. God don't stop us from moving. Maybe we get caught up because we've been bound to things that were never meant to carry us and carry the weight of our worship. We've been bowing to the internet. We've been bowing to our neighbors, worrying about what they drive and how they live and counting their pockets. We've been bowing to trends. We've been bowing to idolatry. And that's what has kept us stuck, whether we know it or not. Because you can get all the BBLs in the world. That doesn't mean you're going to have a perfect body. You're going to have scars. And then I notice everybody that gets them, they go and get these belly tattoos and hip tattoos. You're trying to cover up them stars, baby. We see them scars. You can get all the tattoos you want. You're going to look at yourself in the mirror. You are still going to have to look at yourself in the mirror. Men can go and implant 6-packs all day. They still got to look at them sagging boobs. They still going to have to look at the stretch marks. They still going to have to look at the fact that they might be a little in the middle, whatever it is that they're dealing with. You still going to have that in your head and in your eyes and in your mirror. So it doesn't really matter if you don't feel good about yourself on the inside, and you won't ever see perfection. First of all, there is no perfection. There's no perfect person. But some of us actually like who we are. And there's nothing wrong with enhancing and modifying and fixing. I've had lipo back in the day before BBLs and all that stuff came very prevalent. But I also worked out and ate right. And I wanted to keep my stomach flat. And I might get a few injections here and there, get a little work here and there, but I had to still work on it. When I started working on it and I realized, okay, you ain't working no more and the body ain't working no more for you. Let it go, girl. You either going to put in this work or you just going to be under the table for the rest of your life. Come on. We got to make it make sense. We've been bowing down too long to things that we were never meant to carry. Never meant to carry. What you idolize will eventually control you. What you surrender to, and that's God, He can transform. I'm going to say that again. What you idolize will eventually control you. If you idolize being high and drunk in the street, you eventually going to become a junkie. If you idolize sex, you eventually going to wear yourself out. If you idolize the lyrics of the music in which is corrupting our ears, you're going to eventually start behaving like what you hear. If you idolize body modification, it's going to consume you. You're going to go broke trying to do it because you can't keep up. If you idolize celebrities and trying to be like them and live their life and do what they do, it's going to consume you. And you will forget who you are. You will forget your purpose, and you will forget the will that God has for you. Black people, we have done this a long time. We have been conditioned to be somebody's circus. We have been conditioned to be entertainers. Do your history. Look back and you'll see. Many of the slaves that were brought over who wasn't out in the fields and who wasn't in the house, they was out in the circus being entertainers for the oppressors. It was conditioned and put in our minds that this is all we got to offer. Then you got your celebrities and you got your entertainers who they put themselves in a position where you done made millions and millions of dollars, but then you ain't got the common sense to go start your own label. You ain't got the common sense to go and say what you really want to say. You done got so engulfed in this image. Denzel Washington said it best when he said he would lose money before he would have sex scenes and with women and cause himself or with another man and lose his dignity. Sometimes you got to have your dignity and you got to keep your integrity intact. It's not about money, fame, and entertaining other people. What are you going to look at when you go home? Who are you going to look at? Who are you going to be? We could be so much bigger of a person, of a race, of a community, of an entity, of a person. If we just start asking these hard questions, what am I doing with myself? What am I contributing to my community? And what am I taking away? Think about that. What you idolize will eventually control you. Idolize yourself. If you're going to go to hell about idolizing something, you might as well idolize yourself. I'd rather stand before God any day and say, God, I loved me. Get me for loving me. Get me for my conceit of me. It ain't going to be about nobody else. I ain't going to hell about nobody else. I'm not selling my soul for nobody else. Are y'all serious? You better ask yourself them questions, because it will eventually control you. But what you surrender to God, when you give it to God, when you tell God, I've been wrong, I messed up. Yeah, I know blase ain't all that. He rap about it, but he ain't really about that life. He ain't never killed nothing, ain't let nothing die. He done got me out here doing this, that, and the third, but he ain't really about that life. I surrender. Forgive me for being foolish. Forgive me for believing that I need to twerk everywhere I go. Forgive me for believing that I need to teach my daughter how to use what she got to get what she want. Forgive me for thinking that my son has to be submissive and dumb himself down and not be a leader of his home. Forgive me for thinking this way, because I idolize people who push this. I idolize music and TV and radio and entertainment that push this narrative to me. Forgive me. I surrender. And watch God transform your life. That's me, y'all. That's the end of this. I'm Key, and this has been Run Your Mouth Podcast, giving you something you may can use in less than an hour. Hey, I said it. I did it. I'll live it. Do with it what you want to do with it. But until next time, I hope you have enjoyed this segment brought to you by Read It Group, LLC. If you need any women, this is for my women. Women transforming from domestic violence, women coming out of prison, women who are starting over as homemakers, and now you may have to be the breadwinner of your home. If you need a plan that will help you start your business, fulfill your visions, please inbox me, message me, let me know. Get in contact with me, 470-278-3047. You can always call me at that number, and I will develop a plan for you that works for you. It's individual. The consulting fee is $99.87. Please bet on yourself. Invest in yourself. And it doesn't matter if you want to make bows or you want to go out and you want to make a blimpie. If you want to sew or you want to soar to the moon, whatever it is, that's your vision, that's your life. Let's get it. I am proving that I am literally self-made. Self-made. My own money, my own business, my own stuff. It's not a facade. Not living above my means. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I'm trying to, but it ain't. I mean, my time and my energy is not free. So yes, you do have to purchase the consulting package. But I promise you can take it and do with it as you will, and carry it with you. Go on with you as far as you want to go. If it don't work out for you, then do something else. But I promise you, I'm with you. I'm here with you, and I'm here to sell you truth. Ain't no fluff over here. We ain't faking it till we make it, because we may not make it. We gonna be real, and we gonna be trill about our life, and we gonna be serious about our life. We're gonna be serious about our community. We'll be serious about what we teach our children. We'll be serious about what we consume in our eyes and our ears, and what we put in our spirit. I don't even watch television. 2 hours a week is enough television. You can do that on the weekend. Binge on the weekend or whenever your off days are. It's absolutely, I find no reason for people to just tune in every day to something all day, every day. Schedule your posts. If you got something going on in your head, you want to do it all in one day, schedule it out and go on with your life. Don't let nothing consume you that's not benefiting you. And if it's benefiting you monetarily, emotionally, or mentally, still have a stagnated plan. Make sure your plan aligns with God's plan before you go letting it just consume you and take over you. So I hope y'all have taken something away tonight, or this morning. I'm sorry. See, it's 7 o'clock. It's early. Make sure you tune in wherever you listen to your podcast, download, share, inbox me, send me your thoughts, your complaints, your concerns. You know, if you got something negative to say, if you feel like you want to say it, say it. It ain't going to stop nothing. If you want to hit me up with a positive note, that'll be great. I receive it because ain't nothing stopping this train. Okay. Y'all have a good one. And until next time, thank y'all for tuning in to Run Your Mouth podcast. Powered and presented, sponsored by Read It Group. Because it is what it is. You got to believe in you when nobody else believes in you. You got to be about your business when ain't nobody else looking at your business. You got to know that you about that life. When the lights goes out, the camera go down, you turn your phone off and you walk past that mirror. You got to like that person that you see in that mirror and like what you're about. And that's your success story. Let's get together, black people. I'm out.